Ray, looking at tape of the FAMU game, what was your kind of analysis of how the defensive line played, the good, the bad, what you need to improve on?
I think we played well. I think they did a good job of getting the ball out quick. I think there were some fits that we had that we needed to work on, and that's a great thing about game one. It's what did we do well, what did we not do well, and the big point of emphasis on Sunday was let's fix every mistake we made on Sunday. Let's go over it, let's review it, let's go on the field, break it down, what happened in the film room, take it to the field, and fix it on the field. So I think as a D-line, I think we played well, but there's obviously things we needed to fix, and I think we reviewed them and are ready for App State.
You say fits. Can you go into more detail on that, an example, or like things that you need to improve on in terms of fits and things like that?
Like in terms of like when you're playing, like for me a 2-eye, I had the A gap. There was a play where I shot up the field, hit the guard, kind of popped my gap a little bit, ball hitting the A gap and squeeze out of there. So for me, 3 techs, they got to have that B gap. Whatever fit you have, I mean, it could be different on any play, but whatever your job is, you got to do it, because if you don't, it's going to hurt the defense. You got to do your 1/11th, and that's what we really focused on.
After going through the film on Sunday, is there like a clear advantage for you guys going into a game having already played? They've seen you on film, but you've also seen yourselves on film and had a chance to correct some stuff. That usually occurs in.
Yeah, that's a good question. Matt kind of talked about it. I think it is in some ways an advantage, in some ways a disadvantage, because the disadvantage would maybe be they see what we do on film, they got a little bit, because like some guys they have obviously are gone that we're watching film on, so we don't get the full breakdown of who they are. But I think it's a good thing though, because we got the jitters out, we got to get out there, and we got to see what we need to work on. We got exposed in some areas, and we really needed to buckle down on those and fix them and bring them in the week 2 and have a good game.
And at the same time, finally having that in-game experience with Coach Chizik and everything that he's doing as opposed to what you guys did before.
Absolutely, yeah. Just seeing what his kind of game day mindset was, what he brought, just kind of from a emotional standpoint, what he expected from us, how he wanted us to be calm in battle, and him getting the calls in, and just kind of what his game plan was, his halftime adjustments, how he went through a game day. So yeah, that was definitely important for the defense.
Ray, kind of looking at App State, obviously they have a sort of trio of really solid running backs. When looking at film, what have you seen out of them, and how do you guys plan to sort of stop their attack?
Yeah, I think they've got 2 really good running backs that I think one's a preseason All-American. He does a very good job they do a very good job at hitting seams, and if you, like I said before when you talked about fitting your gap, if you fit the wrong gap, they'll find it, they'll hit it, and they'll take it for 60 yards on you. So I think the game plan going into here is you got to stop the run and then get after the passer. So that's the game plan going in.
Ray, we kind of see Power echoes his energy and everything, from afar. But what is he like in the huddle, especially given that he's still a young guy? Is he pretty much deferring to you older cats, or is it like he's still bringing that energy in?
No, we had a leadership committee this summer. Power is definitely one of the guys that you look to as a leader. He's one of those guys that, I mean, we knew when he was young that he was going to be a really good player here. He's very intense, very just motivated. He's a very motivated person in school and football and everything. He's just one of those guys that's really locked in, really cares about the game, very passionate about it. So I think he's already embraced being a leader on this team, and guys look to him.
Ray, you all went to many road games last year. So what is it as a team you all talking about? And you want to get that taste out of your mouth. You want to go on the road. What are you guys talking about that?
Yeah, it's a new year, it's a new team, and that's something we really struggled with last year was winning on the road, and it really just comes down to preparation and handling that adversity. Whenever adversity hits, adversity is going to hit in every football game, and on the road it can be amplified with the crowd and everything like that. But we just got to execute our game plan, play physical, play hard, and let the chips fall how they fall.
You guys
Ray, along those lines, like you know what's sort of coming when at App State with it's supposed to be like the hardest ticket in school history.
Mm-hmm.
Their season opener, maybe the biggest crowd they've ever had. As a player, when you're hearing that and thinking about that, like what goes through you, your thoughts, your emotions, knowing what sort of the electricity that probably is going to be going on up there.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. It's a big game. You want to be part of big games when you're at UNC, and that's what you expect being big games. And it's a team in our area that we want to play against, and we played against back in 2019. So I think it's going to be a great time. It's going to be great energy, a great buzz, and I mean, these are games that you look forward to. I would compare it very similar to Virginia Tech last year. We didn't execute in that game, and I think this could be an opportunity for us to kind of switch that.
Is there something you can learn from that you guys can say, okay, here's what we may have not handled well going into that you will do differently now?
Yeah, I don't know if I would say something going in, because I mean, preparation and everything goes into it, but I think Mac always pulls up the 7 keys to success, which is rushing, turnovers, third down conversions, things like that. And when you're on the road playing in a big game with an environment like that, you have to create turnovers, run the ball very well, control the clock, things like that. So I think you just have to play a very consistent game, be firing on all cylinders, and really execute the game plan.
And on top of that, it's part of it also playing well early, because that wasn't the case early in Virginia Tech.
Absolutely,
The
yeah.
crowd got frothy.
Yeah, if the crowd gets going, it gives them more momentum. It can really feed them and get them going. I mean, any team is going to come out with a big surge with a crowd like that and everything like that. They're saying it's the biggest attendance in school history. So, absolutely, it's very important to go out there and go head to head with them and see if we can stop the momentum early and get going on our side.
Ray, you're saying, that you guys defensively as a whole got exposed in some areas the other night. Like, I know we've only played one game here, but what sense do you get in terms of how much better you all can play as a defense? I mean, you feel like there's a lot more on the table, a lot more room to grow. Just what sort of sense do you get there?
Yeah, I think especially with a lot more room to grow, because it's a new system. There's new guys being in. There was injuries, guys in and out. So. And I mean, all the stuff that happened to us was mostly self-inflicted. It wasn't because of a call or a call coming in late or something like that. It was on us. And when you're able to identify that in the film room and say, hey, this is what we need to do here, this is what we need to fix, this is what we think is going to happen on third and whatever, or anything like that. So I think there's a lot of room to grow, and guys are really just going to start stepping into their roles and what their role is on this defense.
You guys good with Ray?
Appreciate it, Ray.